Welcome back to Coach Craig Sports. Today is Saturday, February 20th. We're going to be talking some NBA DFS picks on both FanDuel and Draft Kings. But before we get into it, we're going to talk about yesterday's picks real quick. So on the Draft Kings side, we had Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, $8,200, looking for 41 fantasy points out of him. Only got 27.5. Real rough game shooting-wise for him, so he was definitely a miss. Garrett Temple, $4,000. Looking for about 20 fantasy points out of him. He got 25.75, so he was a hit. DeAndre Bembry, $3,100. Looking for about 16 fantasy points out of him. Got to 17, so he was a hit. Pascal Siakam, $7,700. Looking for about 39 fantasy points out of him. Got to 37.25. Real close, but was a miss. Then Willie Herman-Gomez, $3,900. Looking for about 20 fantasy points out of him. Got to 28.25, so he was definitely a hit. So not too bad a day on the DraftKings side besides Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. On the FanDuel side, we had Ja Morant, $7,100, looking for about 36 fantasy points out of him. 39.6, he was definitely a hit. Grayson Allen, $4,700, looking for about 24 fantasy points out of him. Got to 24.4, so he was a hit. Cedi Osman started off pretty rough yesterday, but definitely paid off. $4,200, we were looking for 21 fantasy points at the minimum out of him. He ended up getting 30.7 points, so that was a hit. Jason Tatum, $9,400, looking for 47 fantasy points out of him. 49.6 fantasy points is what he got, so that was a hit. And then the biggest hit of the day, Joel Embiid, $10,300, looking for 52 fantasy points out of him. He put up 50 regular points yesterday, 93.9 points. If you had him in your lineup, you were doing very well yesterday. So he was a massive hit. If you were able to somehow get him and Jamal Murray together, who both scored 50 real-life points, you're probably in for a really big day. But with that being said, we're going to get moved over to the injuries, kind of talk about the notable ones for today. So the first game, we got the Warriors, exactly the same as it's been. On the Charlotte side, they do get one of the Martin brothers back. I believe it was Cody that's coming back. Devontae Graham is out. Gordon Hayward still kind of questionable. Looks like he's going to play. Keep your eyes out on that one. Then for the Heat look exactly the same as they've been. Lakers side, no Dennis Schroeder once again, no Anthony Davis. LeBron James, Kyle Kuzma, Markieff Morris, they're all a little bit banged up, but they're all expected to play. And then for the Kings, they have Harrison Barnes and Rashawn Holmes and Glenn Robinson. They're all questionable kind of right now. We'll see if they play or not. Just keep your eyes out for that one as we get closer to game time. Then for the Chicago Bulls side, exactly the same as it's been the last couple games. The Suns do not have any new injuries once again. On the Memphis side, this is where there's going to be a ton of value today. And Grayson Allen's not playing. Kyle Anderson's not playing. Dylan Brooks isn't playing. Brandon Clark isn't playing. They do have a game time decision down for Justice Winslow, so it'd be interesting to see if he's available tonight. If he's available, maybe he's a guy you can play as a kind of dart throw. Otherwise, you're looking at value guys here with Desmond Bane, Xavier Tillman. I don't think I really want to go down to McDermott, but Bane and Tillman could definitely be great plays today. Should give a boost to Morant and Valanciunas as well. For the Wizards, we just got Ish Smith. For Portland, pretty much the same as it's been the last two games. Harry Giles is still out once again. But with that being said, we're going to get over to DraftKings, kind of talk about my picks for today on that site. So on DraftKings, we got point guard Terry Rozier, $7,900, quite a big bump up for him, but he's been playing lights out lately. Over 45 points, I believe, his last 3 games. So you're looking for about 39, 40 fantasy points out of him. I think he gets it in a pretty good pace-up matchup. And the way he's been shooting lately, it's hard not to play him, honestly. Garrett Temple, we're going back to the well once again, $4,300. A little bit of bump up since yesterday, but you're really only looking for 21, 22 fantasy points out of him. Playing 30 minutes a game, going against a Kings defense that's not very good overall, and they're pretty banged up. Then at small forward, we're going to go with Desmond Bane, $3,800, looking for 19 fantasy points out of him. That's just about what he's averaging this season. Should see some more minutes, should see some more usage in this game, so that should definitely help him out. Then Xavier Tillman, $3,400, could be the biggest bargain on DraftKings for today. It's likely that he's going to start without Brandon Clark and Kyle Anderson in the lineup. You're only looking for 17 fantasy points out of him, averages 19 per game, so I think he gets over 20 pretty easily in this one. And then at center position, we got Enes Kanter, $6,900, looking for 35 fantasy points out of him. Been averaging about 30 so far this year. Goes against a Washington front court that's not the best. A little bit of a pace-up game. Not very much defense at all in this game. Could end up in a shootout. So definitely a guy you want to target. If you're looking at other guys in that game, you want to look at Damian Lillard and Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal as well. But if you go with these 5 guys that we got here, you got $23,700 left over, $7,900 per player, so you can definitely spend up for probably 2 guys and then find a value piece as well. Then we're going to get moved over to the FanDuel side. And at point guard, we got John Morant, $7,400. I know I had him yesterday, but this Memphis situation is just too good to avoid. Looking for 37 fantasy points out of him. Probably gets over 40 really easily in this one. Then, once again, we got Desmond Bane, $3,900. Looking for 19, 20 fantasy points out of him. Kind of like I said on the Draft Kings side, he's got to play minutes. He's going to get you over that 20 points probably rather easily in this one. And then small forward, I hate kind of double dipping, but on a day like today where there's only 5 games and some of his value is what it is until we get more news, you got to go with the same guys on both sites. Next one at small forward is obviously Garrett Temple, $4,200. Looking for 21 fantasy points out of him. Should get there rather easily. Then we get to the power forward position, Xavier Tillman, $4,100. So a little bit more priced up than non-Draft Kings. But, you're only still looking for about 20, 21 points out of him. I think he gets over that pretty easily. So definitely should pay off there. And then at the center position, we got Cody Zeller, $5,100. Looking for 26 fantasy points out of him. That's just what he's averaging this season. It's going against a Golden State team that really has no height left on their team. The only concern here is maybe they play PJ Washington at the 5 a little bit more, kind of go small ball. But I think he still plays enough and should be effective enough in this game to pay off for that salary. But if you go with these 5 guys over on FanDuel, you have $35,300 left over, just over $8,800 per player. So you can definitely spend up for a couple different guys, whether it's a Damian Lillard, a LeBron James, a Russell Westbrook, a Bradley Beal, or a Bam Adebayo, someone like that, Jimmy Butler. There's lots of great options at the top end today, so I figured I'd give you guys some good value ones first and then kind of let you make the decisions on who to pay up for. But with that being said, these are my picks for both DraftKings and FanDuel for today, February 20th. And with that being said, if you guys have any questions at all regarding NBA DFS, be sure to leave them down in the comments below. I'll be listing the news down there as well as the starting lineups for today. But with that being said, if you guys are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports. And that's really one for you, the viewers, helping you guys with your DFS, whether it's NBA or NFL, helping you guys with your fantasy football, talking all the different football news as it comes out this off season, and then talking about fantasy baseball and baseball news as we get closer into baseball season. But with that being said, if you are a new or current subscriber is yet to do so, also hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post up a new video. And with that being said, I'm going to be doing NBA DFS pick videos every single day, talking some fantasy football and some other videos as well. But with that being said, that's all I got for today's video. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed. Hopefully you all do very well in NBA DFS tonight. Once again, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me. And with that being said, I appreciate each and every one of you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. And I hope each and every one of you also has a great rest of your day.